What's up, YouTubers? It's me, Johnny. Just sitting here in the park, watching the day go by. So far, finally had a good day in the markets today. I think oil was up 4%. I still can't get filled on my favorite oil shares, which is kind of disappointing. And I'm a bit early. I think oil is going to fall more, go down in price more, and shares will go up. I mean, down. Interesting thing with the pipeline, I had mentioned in my previous video, one of the pipelines was sabotaged, but it was two. And apparently everyone's doing okay now. Markets are up. I think this is just a bear market rally. I'm kind of surprised that people think this is all over. It's very interesting. Anyways, the Bank of England capitulated today. They're now buying bonds. They're buying bonds and raising interest rates, which is kind of interesting. So far, the pound hasn't crashed to the par yet with the dollar. I wouldn't really be surprised if it did, but I don't think it'll crash. It'll probably just be an orderly market down. Already the euro's it was at 96 cents, now it's at 97 cents, but looks like there's a little bounce there for people who want to short the dollar today. Personally, I still think the dollar is going to go up a lot. There's only really two currencies, or three if you count Russia, where the dollar's down against. That's the Mexican peso, the Brazilian real, and the Russian ruble. Anyhow, since the Russian ruble is kind of manipulated, of course all these currencies are manipulated, but it's interesting. Those are the only two currencies that are really kind of appreciating against dollar, and it's not really by a lot. I expect the Mexican currency to melt down eventually, and that'll be interesting. Anyhow, if you're a US dollar holder, things are getting super cheap. I just saw online where Zuby posted like costs of just basic goods in the UK. There's like now much cheaper than the United States, which didn't really surprise me none. Anyhow, it's very interesting. Things in Europe and the UK are getting cheap. Things in Latin America are fairly affordable. I won't say cheap, affordable. Even though prices are going up here, how can I say this? It's still really affordable if you got dollars, even euros or pounds. I wouldn't be surprised with what's going on in Europe if you start seeing more people flood out of the UK and Europe. I'm kind of surprised what the UK central bank is doing, but it is what it is. And meanwhile, all this is going on, the central bank is the central banks of the world are still planning on converting everything to CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which is kind of fascinating. Anyways, this is going to get ugly if we ever get to CBDCs. If I understand right, the US government or the EU or any of these central banks who put one on can just turn off your bank account for whatever reasons. If they want to turn it off because you're spending too much money on the wrong things, they can turn it off. If they want to turn it off because you live in another country, they can turn it off. Basically, if they approve what you're doing, you get more money, maybe. Or if you don't do the right thing, you get less. I don't know, it's very interesting. So I find it fascinating the way things are unfolding. To me, it's getting really ugly in the US and in Europe especially. I'm surprised the UK hasn't really fought back against this more. But apparently today the UK, or the England central bank capitulated, and they're bailing out their pension funds, which interesting, no one's really talking about in the US. The Social Security fund is very underfunded. I'm sure my viewers know that. It'll be interesting to see how and when, if they raise the retirement age, and they don't even give you the option of retiring early at 62, or maybe they raise that to 65 and raise the regular rate to 72 or 76 or something. Anyways, I don't know, but it's very fascinating to watch all this from outside the US. Well, if you notice today, we got a beautiful day here. It's really sunny. We've got some rain clouds up there. Not too much going on here. I learned today or yesterday, I was kind of aware of this, but not very aware, that apparently if you spend any meaningful time in Mexico in the last 5 years, maybe even 10, they have kind of a temporary residency you can get that's really easy to get and qualify for. It came up during the COVID crisis, and I'm going to learn more about it. If I qualify, I might get it, because at least a permanent residency. And my understanding is you don't really need to show any income to qualify for this visa. So I'm going to check it out, see if I can qualify. If I do, I'll share on the channel what I do or how I got it. If it's true, I'm starting to hear more and more about it. I heard about it during COVID. I just, you know, doing other things, so I didn't really pursue it. So if it's an option, I may check it out and may sign up for it. Because even if it's just temporary and if it lasts for a couple of years, it's kind of a cool thing to have, or at least for a couple of years. And my understanding that it turns right into a permanent residency that you really having to do more. I want to talk to some people about it. If I pursue it, I might probably just use a lawyer. I won't do it myself, but I'll let the viewers know if it pans out and how it pans out and things like that. Anyways, that's it for now. I don't have much else to say. I still think this kind of bear market we're in and kind of loss of liberty and freedom is just going to keep going on. And to that end, I've noticed more and more viewers on YouTube are requesting views for how to get a residency and which countries are good for Americans to live in, which not really surprising, but kind of seems a trend now. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Thanks.